And what fascinated me is that different people have different types of handwriting and have very particular sets of traits. Basically, graphology is a science of understanding handwriting and signature analysis, even to an extent that the medical issues can also be extracted.
How accurate is handwriting analysis in reflecting the person's personality or traits behaviors?
That each individual is very unique, so is their handwriting. Such people, what they do is that they are very, very detail oriented. They can be very good in research institutes, or they can be very good professors. Don't judge the book by its cover. And I have seen people who seem to be very calm and composed, very serene when we look at them, while they're going through depression, anxiety issues, ADHD, a lot of issues people are going through. I have encountered few instances wherein people have even tried to commit suicide, but on a surface level they seem to be very, very normal. But when I checked the handwriting, I got to know that they have tried to commit suicide twice or even thrice.
Hi everyone, welcome to another show of Her Talks, a podcast by Women First Jobs. We all do signatures, sometimes on our bank checks, on the legal documents, or so many other documents. But we never give a thought to analyze those signatures. So today we have an amazing guest with us who know how to analyze your signatures, and she can give you insights which you have never thought could be possible. So let's all welcome Neeru Sharma to our show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And stage is yours now.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
So, Neeru, what sparked your interest in handwriting and signature analysis, and how did you get started in this field? What do you think, like those who are unfamiliar of graphology, can you briefly explain it, like what it is and how it works?
Sure. So a close friend of mine introduced me to the science. And what fascinated me is that different people have different types of handwriting and have very particular sets of traits. The interest started when I noticed these traits, and I wanted to study this graphology in detail. Basically, graphology is a science of understanding handwriting and signature analysis. The study is done by looking at the handwriting and extracting the personality traits of a person, even to an extent that the medical issues can also be extracted.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a very fascinating science.
Yeah, it looks so fascinating, right? So, like how accurate is handwriting analysis in reflecting the person's personality or traits behaviors?
As of now, it is 99% accurate. Now, this science is traced back to 17th century. It was introduced in China, later on in other countries, but it gained popularity in the 19th century. So it is not a very new science that, it's not even a pseudoscience. It is based on facts and some scientific principles. So we have to take into consideration few instruments while measuring the slants, the pressure of a person's handwriting.
So let's talk about entrepreneurs. Have you noticed any special trait or a pattern or characteristics in their signatures?
No, definitely no. No, I haven't. The thing is that each individual is very unique, so is their handwriting. So the different entrepreneurs, they might be successful due to different reasons. There can be not a single trait that can identify, okay, this belongs to a successful entrepreneur. Yeah.
Okay. So when you analyze someone's signature, what specific elements do you focus on to get a sense of their confidence or leadership qualities?
Okay. So I focus basically on the baseline, the slants, the pressure with which they have written, and the waves, like is it going towards the left or is it going towards the right? All these are very, very strong indicators to identify the personality traits of an individual.
Okay. So do you think that handwriting can actually reveal someone's emotional state of mind or maybe even their career preferences?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For example, if somebody has written in a very non-continuous form, as in they just write the handwriting in typewriting form, in such cases, such a person would not be able to adapt to challenges very soon.
Okay.
So if you give him or her a leadership role, he would not be able to continue.
Okay.
And whereas others who write in very small alphabets, that is not deliberately. That is very
Which is
you can
within,
say
like,
very, yeah,
natural.
naturally. Such people, what they do is that they are very, very detail oriented. They can be very good in research institutes, or they can be very good professors. So, of course.
Okay. So, what are some of the surprising findings you have encountered while analyzing the signatures or the handwriting? You
Well,
can open with
yeah,
us.
there have been quite a few. There's a saying that don't judge the book by its cover. And I have seen people who seem to be very calm and composed, very serene when we look at them, while they're going through depression, anxiety issues, ADHD, a lot of issues people are going through. I have encountered few instances wherein people have even tried to commit suicide, but on a surface level, they seem to be very, very normal. But if when I checked the handwriting, I got to know that they have tried to commit suicide twice or even thrice,
Okay.
and that is in the back of the mind that I'm no good for this world, despite having a very good life.
This is really shocking.
It is indeed. So there have been other instances also. People are into extramarital affairs, then they are career oriented, very, very unhappiness in careers. That is also there.
So, have you ever had someone asked you to analyze their handwriting for a specific purpose and like finding out more about their strengths or weaknesses,
Yes,
or
yes.
maybe any positive or negative?
So there are few alphabets in handwriting which are very important in graphology. For example, I and T. So how a person writes his or her T indicates his or her confidence level. So at times I do get students who feel that they want to increase their confidence level or their public speaking skills, and in those cases I make them practice a lot on T,
Okay.
alphabet T. Yeah, and then I is also there. The way you write your I, the dot on the I is very, very important. Even the slants, if somebody's writing on a plain sheet of paper and it is very wavy, it is not in a straight format, that person might be in depression.
Okay.
Yeah. Then even there is a very, very fascinating thing that I wanted to share here, is that if somebody has written towards left, I mean, somebody has given a big margin towards the left or right, that also indicates their relationship with their maternal side or paternal side of family.
Wow. I mean, it has a deep subject,
Yes,
I would say,
yes,
in
yes,
itself.
yes.
Okay. But do you think the cultural differences really play a major role in the handwriting? Because we have seen in Arabic, like it starts, they have a different way of writing. English is different, while Hindi is different. So, like, what are your thoughts about it?
The thing is that we have to take into consideration that if a language is being evaluated via graphology, it has to be the person's mother tongue, or a language that is used by him or her on a daily basis. So if it is a non-native language, then I would suggest that the graphologist should belong to that particular country,
Okay.
because it varies, the waves, the slants, the pressure, and even in, like, for example, Arabic or Urdu, it starts from left to right. So yes, the graphologist should belong to that country in order to evaluate properly.
Okay. So, do you think is there any connection between the handwriting analysis and other personality tests like Myers-Briggs and type indicators or astrology as well?
So Myers-Briggs considers only 16 type of personalities, whereas in graphology, it is not defined to a particular type of personality. Two individuals might be, they might be siblings or friends,
Right.
brought up in the same situation, but they can be completely two ends of a spectrum. So we cannot say that they're completely different sciences. There can be multiple type of personalities. Yeah.
And is there any connection with the astrology?
No, it doesn't have any connection with astrology. That's a
Okay.
different science.
Okay. So, for someone wanting to improve their handwriting for personal or professional reasons, what tips would you recommend?
Well, I would recommend three things. First is that the baseline should be very strong. And the way the sentence is ended should not go towards the down. because that indicates depression or mental issues.
Okay.
And E's and F's should be formed very nicely because alphabet E indicates your listening skills. So, we all need to be good listeners in order to provide good output. So that is very important. Alphabet F indicates how a person plans and executes.
Okay.
Some are very good planners, but they don't execute. And some are very good executors, but they execute very nicely, but they don't plan. It's just impromptu. So such alphabets are very important. And if they're practiced properly, lot of differences can be made.
Okay. So, how do you balance the science and art of graphology? Is there a lot of intuition involved in your work?
It is very scientifically and education based intuition. It cannot be just on my sixth sense that I can do the evaluation. It is properly based on principles. I have to take into consideration a lot of points, and then I can give an evaluation report, an analysis on the handwriting, depending on few things that are based and that are the core principles and values of graphology.
Okay. So, can you put more light on the positive sides, like how you really, if suppose a person come to you, maybe low in confidence, or maybe facing the rejections and the interviews and other things, can you give any specific tip to that person? I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people.
Definitely. So graphology has another branch which is known as graphotherapy.
Okay.
Now, in case any improvement, if there is any scope of improvement, any personality trait that needs to be changed, then I suggest graphotherapy. There are some strokes that need to be practiced. And with those strokes, the mindset and the observation power, the listening skills, the presentation skills, that changes a lot.
Okay.
So it has, I am experienced in this. I have gone through few things and I practice the science on myself first. And that's how I'm able to say it with 100% guarantee. It is very, very scientifically proven. Whatever we think, that is what is reflected in our handwriting. And it is a reverse therapy. So what we do is we practice certain slants and strokes so that our mind gets a signal that no, we know how I need to function, how the mind needs to run, and we need to eradicate and eliminate all the negative thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, like, is there any duration which help the people to see the improvement or maybe the changes in their life once they follow the tips, right?
It depends upon the intensity of the issue.
Okay.
So initially I suggest 21 days of practice, but it may lead to 6 months.
Okay.
Wherein the person does not need any handhold from a graphologist. You can practice on your own. It's just like, for example, yoga, how you do it daily. This is a mental yoga. It's a mental exercise which can be practiced daily for 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. And is there any complicated handwriting which you have ever came across?
Yes. So there has been 2 instances. One is where the person tried to test me and deliberately manipulated the handwriting. I could understand that because the strokes were completely different. Even if you're sitting and having multiple thoughts at the same time, still it cannot happen that, you cannot think about a good thing and a bad thing just at the same time. I could understand that this is being, this is a deliberation attempt. The second part is where I noticed that there's a mother, she had that tendency to harm the child, harm her own children.
Okay.
Now, this was due to deficiencies in her, some vitamin deficiencies in her, but she did not get herself medically tested. And I could just tell her that, please, I suggested her to visit a doctor, get herself tested and find out, because she really wanted to harm her child. I could see it from the handwriting because she wanted to, what do you say? She wanted to take out her anger and frustration. Yeah.
Okay, this is really deep actually. This entire the study of handwriting is deep. I mean, like, sometimes we generally don't think, right?
Yeah.
We have to sign, we just think like, and most of the people I have seen, they try to make their signatures as complicated as they can, right? I mean, like I hardly rarely see a person with a very simple signature, the name and other thing, right? So, okay, but we have a couple of rapid fire questions
Yeah,
as well for
sure,
you.
sure.
And you have to give the answer, whatever come to your mind. Do not analyze anything.
Okay, done.
Just be natural. Okay, so handwriting or typing, which one reveals more about the person?
Handwriting.
Okay. The most surprising trait you have discovered through handwriting analysis.
A murderer trait.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. If someone's handwriting is messy, does it mean they are disorganized?
No,
Okay.
not specifically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then what it
there are other traits also.
Okay.
It's a combination of few traits.
Okay. So what's the one thing you look for in a signature?
That the signature, the underline under the signature is not going towards the back. That is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are no arcs.
Okay. Can handwriting reveal someone's mood in the moment?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
But generally people, signatures generally remain the same,
Yeah.
but the handwritings keep on changing.
Yes.
Okay, right. So most common misconception people have about graphology.
That it is a pseudoscience, but it is not.
Okay. Favorite type of handwriting to analyze, print or cursive?
Cursive.
Okay.
Yeah, I discover such different type of traits, such variety of traits of people, and the combination in their personalities, that it is such an interesting science, and I want to learn more and more. And yeah.
That's wonderful. I'll come back to you with my signature and my handwriting as
Sure,
well.
absolutely.
For the for you to analyze it. But thank you so much, Neeru. Actually, I think you are the first one I met who actually understands the signatures, the handwritings, and all. And I thought it's really going to be very important for the people to understand the importance. So thank you so much for taking time out and coming to the show.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you,
It's a
Priyanka.
pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.